So that is my version of Ruskie Pierogi. Look at that. That is sensational. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we are doing Ruskie Pierogi or Pierogi Ruskie. Now, contrary to the popular belief, it ain't Russian. Just because it's called Ruskie Pierogi, it doesn't mean it's Russian. It isn't. Everybody thinks it's Russian. So historically, it's from Red Ruthenia, or also known as Galicia. So Red Ruthenia or Galicia, and that's the southeastern side of Poland and Ukraine. It's not Russia. Okay, so basically it's mashed potato, cottage cheese or farmer's cheese, and I have actually just made some cheese. It's in here. Okay, there's my cottage cheese. I'm not going to go through the whole recipe of making cottage cheese. It's already on the channel. However, that is mine from just now, from a couple of litres of milk. I've got some potatoes, old potatoes, as you can see, they've got eyes on. The potatoes have to be peeled because you cannot eat the eyes. Okay, so we're going to just peel the potatoes and then we're going to put the potatoes on to boil in a pan. We got the potatoes boiling away there, look, and they're just starting to take a fork. That is good enough. We're going to give those a drain in. So I'm going to turn that off. We're going to give that a drain in, and then we're going to dry the potatoes out on there. Then we'll mash them. Okay, so what we do is we've drained the potatoes, and now they're back on here to dry out. Dry them out on there, nice and steady. You'll hear when all the moisture's gone. It's nearly gone already. Flame off, that's good enough for me. And then what we're going to do is give these a mashing. Okay, the mashed potato, straightforward. If you want any salt in, put the salt in. If you want any pepper, put that in too. That's up to you. Nice and steady, a bit of seasoning. And then we are going to mash these with a little bit of butter. Not too much, about that much. Okay, so in we go. You can mash this with a rice masher. You can, here we go. We're just going to mash this up. Now you can use a ricer if you so wish. I'm not really all that bothered, you know, there's a ricer in the cupboard there. But I want a little bit of texture with this. And then when we put our cottage cheese in, we end up with a nice filling. So that's our mashed potato. We're just going to let that go cold. Now it has got a couple of lumps in. I like texture in my mashed potato, even in my pierogi filling. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit till it goes cold. Good job. Okay, so we're just going to get a flame on and we're just going to go in there with a little bit of butter. Now everything's butter with this. And we're going to go in there with some onion. I've already fine diced the onion just to be quick. So let's just get that sautéed off in there with that butter. And then we're going to add that to our mashed potato. And we'll put our cream cheese in as well, and that will be our filling. Now if you get a bit of colour on it, it doesn't matter. You know, we're not worried. It's going to go inside our pierogi, you know, so it doesn't matter. Now for extra flavour, what you could do, you could actually go in with some minced up garlic. They got a little bit of a tinge on there, look, that's enough. We don't want to tinge it any more than that. And then all we're doing is just adding that to our mashed potato. I'm just going to give that a little mix in. So that's going to give that nice little flavour in there. So that's a little bit of onion. Now you can put mixed herbs in, you can do what you want actually. Just look at that, that is superb. And we're just going to put that in there. Crumble it in. Now you can use as much as you want or as little as you want. It's entirely up to you. And we're going to give that a mix in. That's going to be mixed in with all that mashed potato. Nice and steady. So you can go as much cheese as you want, you know, that's up to you. Mashed potato and our cottage cheese or farmer's cheese. Just get it mixed in there. There we have it. Our farmer's cheese, mashed potato in there, a little bit of seasoning. That's our filling for our dumplings. A few little bits of green onion there, straight from the garden. And all we're going to do is just over the top, nice and gently. So we're just going to go in there with that. And we're just going to give that a mix through. And that will give us just that little fleck of green in there. Not much. You can go as much as you like. As you can see, it's only a fleck. That will do. Lovely. Now I've got some flour in here. I'm just going to go in there with some salt. And what we want to be doing, we don't want to make a big deal out of this, okay? But we're going to put all the fluid in together. Now I've got a beaten egg in here. And I've got some water in here. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm also going to go in here with a couple of tablespoons of oil. 1, 2. We're going to give that a mix. And we're just going to see how this goes. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, I'm not kidding. So let's just give that a mix in. See what we get. We're just going to bring all that together in this bowl and hopefully we'll have a nice pastry mix. Now it looks a bit dry at the moment, but it's not. It just wants working in. You can feel how damp this is. So let's not stress just yet. Let's just give it a good mixing in. And then we're going to turn it out onto the side and give it a kneading, because this bowl is not good enough. Actually, this dough feels quite nice. A little bit tacky, but it's not wet. That actually feels wonderful. Pastry done. Now what we need to do, I think, we have to cover this with some cling wrap and just let it rest a little minute, you know. Bring it, let it settle down, bring itself back together, and then we'll start rolling it out. Okay, then we should let it rest a lot longer, but we haven't got time really. We want to get on and get some made. So what we're going to do, we're going to just come in there like that. And I'll put a little bit of flour down. Now we're going to roll it like this. Let's not make a big deal out of it. Let's just roll it nice and thinly. The The pastry feels great actually, it's got a bit of spring in it. I like it. Okay. Now I'm not very neat and tidy the way I do things, so we're just going to come on there like that with this. Whiz that off there. In there with a bit of our mix. So you can see what we've got going on, and then it's a case of fold that over there like that. Squash that in there, squash it up like that. And there we go. It's a bit like Asian dumplings actually. It's amazing how much the cultural difference is. However, similarities between recipes is unbelievable. Okay, so all you do is you get your pan boiling. Now, normally I would do it in a stainless steel pan, bigger, but you won't see what's going on. And then all we need to do is take our dumplings and put them in there. Now, they are going to sink to the bottom like that, and you could give them a little stir around if you so wish. That's up to you. But what happens when they are fully cooked? They rise up. Just give them a little twirl. I've got no lid on. I normally put a lid on till they come up, but we'll just let them cook like that so you can see what's going on. So they just need to be in that boiling water, and then they float to the top. When they float to the top, they can come out. I've got a tray here, and I've put a little bit of oil in, because all we're going to do is chuck them in there, and the oil's going to stop them from sticking. It's fairly straightforward. So there we go, they're all floating on the top there. We need to come in there, and we need to put those in our pan of oil, or our pan with a little bit of oil in. Just give them a little jiggle round as they go in. And then we should just keep going. Okay, so what we need to do is get a little bit of butter in here, and we're going to fry off some onions. That's going to be our topping. So don't be frightened of the butter, chuck it in. So we're going to drizzle that all over the top. Onions in. Now you go as many onions as you want. I've only got one onion here because it's just a topping. So when we fried this off, you can put a little bit of colour on this if you want. It's just up to you what you do with this. This is our topping. It's going to go over our pierogi. You know, and I just love fried off onions in butter. Now you can season this, a little bit of pepper, a bit of salt, entirely up to you. Or you can just leave it as is. That will do, job done, one side. Okay, again, another pan on here. Again, in with some butter. And this time we're going to go in with a little bit of oil. So we've got that going on in there, look. Now we don't want it too hot, so I'm going to turn that down a little minute. And we are going in there with our pierogis. Completely optional step, but I like that crust on there. I think this is the best way to eat pierogi. You know, you fry it off in a little bit of butter in there. You get that butter on there. You get a little bit of charring on there like that, which crisps up the outside. You'll get a nice crust on there. It's superb. You know, it's everybody to their own, obviously, but this is the way I like it. You know, these pierogis remind me so much of the Galicia dumplings. It just shows how all the cuisines around the world are all intermingled. It's just amazing. Okay, can you see where we're at? That's how I like mine. Out they come. And then all we need to do is just take some of that butter onions on there. A little bit of green onion. And how pretty does that look? Well, I hope we've done Paul and proud with that. I think that looks sensational. Look at that. So that is my version of Ruskie Pierogi. Look at that. That is sensational. We got that sour cream in there with the onion. We got our pierogi around there. We got buttered on there. We've got onions on there. And I've slightly crisped it because that's how I like mine. I'm not really all that bothered in wet dumplings. I like the softness and the crispness. There you go. Let's give it a taste test. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's have this off here. And this one. And this one. Oh, look at that. That is sensational. And we want a little bit of this sour cream. Oh, we just gotta go for it. Oh, our filling in there with our cottage cheese. Oh, oh man. Let's forget the knife and fork. Soft dumpling. Bit of crunch where we've just fried it. You got that butter, onions. You've got that cottage cheese. Mashed potato. What more could you want? That is absolutely fantastic. This is my version. I hope I've done Poland proud. I've got a lot of Polish subscribers on here. This one is for you. It's my take on it, how I enjoy it. I hope it a little bit like you make it at home. So if you all like what we're doing, don't forget, smash that like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. We'll catch you in the next video.